How you doing? Mr. DJ's back for my 60s YouTube channel. I want to stick with Billboard's Hot 100 from December 31st, 1966 for one more night. There's about three or four songs I want to talk about. The first one is Terry Knight and the Pack, I Who Have Nothing, coming in at number 48 the week of December 31st, 1966 on Billboard's Hot 100. Let me pull that thing up. Ooh, my goodness, I love this. We got some great records on this Hot 100. We got Good Thing by Power Fear and the Raiders. Good Thing was a huge hit in the fall of 66, jumping from 66 to 35 to 27 up to number 10 the week of December 31st, 1966. Words of Love by the Mamas and the Papas. Tell It to the Rain by the Four Seasons. Try a Little Tenderness, some of that sweet soul music by Otis Redding. And we also got Single Girl by Sandy Posey. And You Keep Me Hanging On by the Supremes, Standing in the Shadows of Love by the Four Tops, and Talk Talk by the Music Machine. But let's go ahead and talk about this Terry Knight and the Pack record coming in at number 48. Not doing that well from 56, 51, then 51 the week after that, and then jumping up to number 48. It was a regional hit. This record was a regional hit up in the upper Midwest, Ohio, well in the Northeast too, New York, I believe, and particularly Michigan. Uh, Terry Knight and the Pack, they had about 6 singles. One of the songs that they did was, oh my goodness, one of the most awesome records that the Yardbirds ever came out with. The Yardbirds, though, didn't put it out as a single, although Terry Knight and the Pack put out their version as a single, Mr. You're a Better Man Than I. You gotta listen to that record. Jeff Beck kills it. His guitar solo and Mr. You're a Better Man Than I it's just it's genius. It's genius. But anyway, let's get back to this record. Before I talk about Terry Knight, let's talk about this record, I Who Have Nothing. This was based on an Italian song. The lyrics and the music were written by a couple of Italian guys, but Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, they wrote the English lyrics to this record, and they cut the record with Ben E. King. They produced a Ben E. King version, which went to number 29 in 1963. Shirley Bassey, who later had that hit with Goldfinger, cut a version of this record, which was produced by George Martin. Her version went to number 6 in England in 1963. And then we got Terry Knight and the Pack covering this record in late 1966. Only got as high as number 46 or number 48. The band, they broke up in 1967, but no problem there. There was a couple of guys in that band, Dan Brewer, or either Don or Dan Brewer, and Mike Farner, or Mark Farner, rather. Mark Farner and Brewer, they formed. They were the nucleus of Grand Funk Railroad. They formed Grand Funk Railroad. And Getting Closer was their first major hit. Getting Closer to Home, that was in the fall of 1970. That album, that first album and that single was produced by Terry Knight. As a matter of fact, some people believe, and I kind of agree with this, that Getting Closer to Home, Grand Funk Railroad's first major hit, was similar in style to some of Terry Knight's and the Pack's hits back in the mid to late 60s. Stylistically speaking, similar. But Grand Funk Railroad, they had some problems with Terry Knight. They had questions about his managerial style and the fiscal responsibilities, his fiscal reach, fiscal decisions. Well, they fired him. Bottom line is they fired Terry Knight in 1972, early 1972. And boy, Terry Knight, it was not pretty. This was not pretty. Terry Knight retaliated quickly, promptly. He sued the band for breach of contract, and it was a pretty nasty struggle at one point. Oh gosh, boy, he played hardball. Terry Knight played hardball. He repossessed one time. They were going to do a show, Grand Funk Railroad at Madison Square Garden. They're getting ready to do a show. And Terry Knight repossessed all their equipment before they did the show. That's how nasty it got. But let's go back to the better days of Terry Knight and the Pack, I Who Have Nothing from 1966.